Good morning and happy back to school. It's that time of year and everybody's crazy busy. All parents and kids are going back to school. Parents are crazy trying to get everything put together and ready to send their kids back to school. Kids are excited, nervous, scared, don't want summer to end, all those kind of big emotions that back to school brings. I hope you are having a great back to school season. Because it really is a season. It's not just a day, it lasts for a while. It's all the prep that comes into it. It's the routine changing for the first couple of weeks. I know it usually takes us, because my husband's a teacher, so he starts earlier, and then my son goes back to school. We've got about 6 weeks that's really turmoil in our house. And that's when that routine is changing from the summer routine to back to the school routine. So that's what we want to talk about today. Let's talk about disruptions and predictability. The fact is that life is not predictable, right? There are always going to be disruptions in life, whether it's back to school, whether it's the summer coming, whether it's the holidays, whether it's an illness, whether it's the death of a loved one. There's always going to be disruptions in our life. And as a business owner, especially as a solo entrepreneur, your focus gets split because you have a finite amount of focus and attention and capacity. And when you have life pulling you one way, then your business doesn't get as much focus or attention. So it's during these times that when we just can't give our focus and attention, you've got a choice, basically. There's 3 things that could happen. The first thing, your business could shut down because you just don't have any attention to give it. That's number one. Or and not shut down as in close for good, but just shut down operations, just halts operations. The second thing is it just kind of limps along when you give it attention only as you're able, but it's really just kind of limping along. Your clients aren't getting the normal amount of attention that you usually give them. They're getting minimal amount of attention, and they may or may not feel cared for. They may or may not even feel that, but you are just not able to give it as much attention. You do what you can, but really your focus is over here on the life side. Third option is that your business runs just like normal. Even though your life is going crazy and your attention, your focus is being drawn elsewhere, that your business continues to run and your clients continue to have a great experience. Your clients may or may not even know that your attention is elsewhere because they're still feeling cared and served well. And your business just keeps going despite the life disruptions. So here's the thing. If you want to make that intentional decision for 1 or 2, where your attention just can't go to the business at all, and so you're going to shut down operations, or 2, you're going to limp it along and do what you can. If you're making that intentional, like you sit down and say, this is the way I'm going to operate, then great. If you're satisfied with that, then great. Kudos to you, congratulations. This video may not even be for you. But if you want your business to continue running, even when those life disruptions happen, whether they're expected or whether they're not expected, if you want your business to be able to continue running and flawlessly, seamlessly, even when your attention needs to be drawn elsewhere, then the one thing that you must have in place are your systems. And let me say this, systems are not a luxury for successful businesses. They are a necessity. I'll say it again. Systems are not a luxury for a successful business. They are a necessity. Systems can be the word systems for a small business owner, especially a solo entrepreneur. Let's face it, you're a solo entrepreneur, you got into business because you have a passion for the work that you do, you're really good at what you do, so that's fantastic. You just kind of keep, so you're really good at it. You may not be good at all the pieces of running a business, but you're really good at the work that you do. So you just do it innately, and you do a bang-up job. So when somebody like me throws the word systems at you and to tell you that in order to be successful, you must have systems in place, that can be scary. Like that can be really scary. I know when I first started, I thought that, I mean, that just sounds ridiculous. Like I didn't want to have employees. I didn't want to have a team. I just wanted to do my work. But then I suddenly realized that I had a capacity and a max that I was reaching, a wall that I was hitting, that I could only do so much. And that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for my business. It wasn't enough for me to have the impact in the world that I wanted to have. So I had to start creating systems. I started with just trying to figure out how do I do these things, and how can I do them more efficiently and more effectively, and what are those things that I do over and over and over again that I can put into a system. Let me tell you a story. This is an example of how a system was able to save a business in the middle of a life disruption. That sounds very harsh and very tragic, but it's not. Actually, it was this summer, my family and I were able to take a 4-week-long vacation. It was amazing. And I realized about midway through that this is what I built my business for. Like I want to be able to have that freedom to travel and do fun things with my family and work virtually. And so that's what was happening, which was really exciting for me to realize. But so throughout that month, though, my business didn't shut down. My team was able to keep things going and keep things churning and keep clients served and make sure that they still felt cared for and served well. Now, there were several projects that were going before I left that we had in motion and were able to continue to fruition before I even got back from vacation, which was awesome. But the kicker is that we actually picked up a new client, somebody I was not expecting. I got a referral in the middle of my vacation, and the referred person needed this project quickly. And so it wasn't something that could wait till I got back. We needed to get going. And so my team and I were able to serve this person seamlessly, which was amazing. Fast forward to the end a little bit, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the story, but fast forward to the end, as we were wrapping up the project after I got back from vacation, that sort of thing, I realized that he didn't even realize I was on vacation, which was kind of amazing. Like I know that I told him that when we first had our first conversation, but it didn't click and it didn't register, and that didn't matter. Because at the end he said, "Oh, you were on vacation?" That was so cool. Because that tells me that we were able to help him, between my team and I, we were able to help him and do the work that he needed and get his project done without him even recognizing that there was a hiccup or a bump in the road or anything like that, that things weren't normal, that I didn't have my 100% attention on my business. That was a pretty cool experience. And so because we had, this is how we were able to do it, because we had systems for lead generation. When a new lead comes in, we had systems for that. We had systems for the sales process and how we handle that. We had systems for new client onboarding, so that was able to be taken care of. We had systems for the actual service delivery, so that was able to be taken care of. All of that happened. Now, I had some interaction because I needed to, because at this point, there's a few things in those systems that are still solely assigned to me, and I'm the only one who knows how to do them, and that was fine. But still, my interaction there was truly minimal. I was able to do the amount of work that I could do, pass it on to my team, and they were able to knock it out of the park. It was pretty amazing. So business didn't have to stop because I was on vacation with my family. Business didn't have to slow down because I didn't have my full focus on my business. And that's the power of systems. And that's why those systems are so critical for even solo entrepreneurs like me to be able to develop and create and implement with your team. Now, these are systems that we have designed and been working on and tweaking and testing and tweaking again for a couple of years. So this isn't like a magic wand kind of thing. This is one of those things that just kind of, that we have been working on. But to know that that's how, that everything that we've been working towards culminated and showed itself in a situation like that was pretty awesome. I mean, another example, nothing specific, but just in the middle of this back to school time, you know, I wanted to spend some extra time with my son for the end of the summer. I had some other family obligations, so my attention couldn't be 100% on the business, and none of that was necessarily expected. But I was able to still carve out that time to have the freedom and flexibility to do what I wanted to do and still be able to run my business and have my business run even without my eyes on it. So that's the power of systems. And that's one of the things that when I work with my clients that we really dig in on. I tend to geek out on systems. If you can't tell, I get a little excited about them. So it comes along, so after when I work with my clients, we talk a lot about your own brand identity and knowing who you even are so that you can step into that, communicate that, attract the right kind of people, but then it's making sure that you've got the systems in place that their experience of that brand identity matches what you've told them it's going to be. So the system, especially in this situation of a life disruption, if you're saying, you know, you're going to get all this kind of experience and this is what you're promising all throughout the marketing and sales process, and then all of a sudden, whoops, sorry, it's back to school, I can't focus on this, or oops, sorry, I'm taking a vacation, all of a sudden your clients aren't getting the experience that you have promised them. So being able to have those systems in place so that your clients feel completely cared for and served well, they have a stellar customer experience with you, and you still are able to have the freedom and flexibility that you want to have in growing your business. The reason you started your business was to have that freedom and flexibility. So I want you to be able to have that, and systems can actually set you free, which is kind of exciting because they can be daunting and tedious to create, but they can set you free, and that's what's amazing. So I want to say just that one sentence again, systems aren't a luxury for successful businesses. They are a necessity. So I want you to be thinking about that. And as I've talked before, when I work with my clients, we talk about the know who you are, communicate who you are, and then be who you are. So this systems really falls in that be section. It's creating those systems. And I've created a checklist for you of all the things in your business to be looking at for that know, communicate, and be your brand identity. There is a link in the description for this video that you can go to download that free checklist. It's free, and I hope that you can take that checklist and knock it out of the park and get so clear that you can know, communicate, and be. If you can't, if you want a little help, if you want somebody to walk beside you, ask you those questions, pull it out of you, figure out all of the bits and pieces that are critical and important for your own brand identity, then I would love to talk to you and see if I can help you with that. I offer a free consultation, zero obligation, not a hard sell. I want to see if I can help and if we'd be a match, but I would love to have that conversation with you. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you're having a great back to school time, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day. Bye.